Ahmad Panyawa, Jerusalem, stand up, please, Jerusalem. Brother Daniel, read everything. Blessing of the day of Simon. Barakatha Yahweh, Basham Yahweh, Asherab, Latamanawa, Hayawam, Shamaywan, Bashalawam, the water, Amen. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the day of Simon in peace. Thank you, so be it. The Aliyah Ma'asharai Machad, Psalms 121. Anye harayim ayim ye oh harayim ayen yabawa ay zarye yabawa ay mayahawa shashab shemayim waratze la yanathan lamawat ragalia yela yanawam Shashwamarka Hane La Yanawam Wala Yashan Shashwamar Yashralib Yahweh Shamaria, Yahweh Tazaliah, Ayo, Yem Yem Yed, Yawomam Hashemash, La Hakaya, Wayarak, La Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamaria, Makab, Rai, Yashama, Napashya, Yahweh, Yashama, Habalakya, Wabawaya, my fad, Wa Aid, I will Basham, Yahushai, the water, Aman.
Psalms 121, 1 and 21. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, and where cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. And he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will keep thee, will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth thee shall keepeth Israel, shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by the day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He will preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, this time forth, even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Shemaiah Sharala, Hero Israel, Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Shemaiah Sharala, Yahweh, Elohim, Yahweh, Echad. Shemaiah Sharala, Yahweh, Elohim, Yahweh, Echad. Shemai Yisrael Yahweh Elohim Yahweh Echad.
Hear you, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one. I'm sorry. The Lord, hear ye, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Ha'ai Shara Mataz Salat. Chapala Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer. Matthew 6 and 9. Abinawe Shabbat Shemayim Kodash Hayye Shamke Yahuwah Malakwaka Taba'e Ratazawanke Hayye Aisha Baratazab Kabashemayim Natanlanawe Lacham Yawam Zad wasalak nawe kabawak nawe kasalak nawe kabawak nawe wala abiyar nawe al nasayawan abo hawashai nawe marai kayed laka hamalakwa wa ala wa thaparak wa walam man.
After this manner, therefore, pray ye.
Oh, call the chapter, verse 2.
Matthew 6 and 9.
Stop at 13.
Huh?
Stop at 13.
Start at 13.
Stop at 13.
Okay. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but do deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ha'ashara Matazawaf, the Ten Commandments. Exodus 20:3. I think the last verse is verse 17. Just start at 20:3, and you're going to read down to 17. La'ab, Yahayab, Lakab, Alahayim, Acharim, Alpanyat, La'ab, Thaishab, Lakab, Pasol, Wala'ab, Thaibadam, La'ab, Talakwaka, Shamwab, Yahawab, Alahayakab, Lashawak, Zakab, Ath, Hayawam, Hashabath, La Kodashwa, Kabad, Abiyakab, Wa Amakab, La Ad, Taratazak, La Naab, Taganab, La Ad, Thainad, Shakur, La Ad, Tachamad, Kal, Asherat, La Ra'ikab, Amen.
Exodus 20, and starting at verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For the Lord thy God am a jealous God, visiting iniquities on the fathers, upon the children, upon the third and fourth generations of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will hold him guiltless. You will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. 6 days shall thy labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work. Thou shalt nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor the cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that is in, and has rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Mm-hmm.
Honor thy father and thy mother, honor thy father and thy mother, that they shall be long upon the land which the Lord has given thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, for thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
That's it.
Cover thy neighbor's
That's right.
wife,
I think it's house first.
and cover thy neighbor's wife, cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen.
Amen. Yeshua, be seated. Oh, Dua. When you see thy, T-H-Y, it's just.
When
you see thy, T-H-Y, you just pronounce it thy. That's all good. Practice makes perfect. Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Asherad, Nana, Poya Gapin, Tuwara Aman. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Af, Yashar. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, with Israel. At Madwa, upon you, Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. Barakatha Yahweh, Haggadah, Rakawam, Abiyah, Ranawa'eh, Eliyawan, Malak, Shal, Shamayim, Waratiza, Wakal, the Barium, Kayayam, Wagam, Hamashiach, Mayahawe, Arawanawe, Ahabnawe, Hapalah, Yawa Aitiza, Yahawashai, Zakarnawe, Yahawah, Bartazawan, Ainka, Yash'ale, Izarnawe, Banai, Wasap, Yash'ale, Al Nanawe, Yam Yan, Aitha, Kayawamyam, Makwadam, Babakushai, Shalak, Mike Allah, Watazwadak, Allahayam, La Maganawa, Raparnawa, Washama, Ilnawa, Bakwo, Shalak, Haroka, Shal, Yahawashai, Lanawa, Lamadnawa, Rabiam, Kakamat, Tabawana, Wada I. Shal the Barka Basham Yahawashai for what them yet why will Aman. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living, and also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor Yahweh Shai. Remember, Yahweh, favorably your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel, most high, we beg you, right now, like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahweh Shai to us, to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, always and forever, so be it. Repeat the Hebrew only. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Natan Manawa, Ha Tawarat, Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us light to see. Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherat, Natan Lanawa, Award, Lara Awat. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakata Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Asherat, Natan Lanawa, Quran, Hayo, La Korab, Ha'aim, Yeshabah, be seated. Okay, Shalom Yasharella. All right, so Shalom everybody here in Philly, Shalom everybody watching us on live stream, and Shalom everybody listening in on teleconference. Welcome to Had Yasharella Kanas, or the Congregation of Israel, where we teach that the so-called Black, Latin, and Native Americans are the 12 tribes of Israel. That we fall into a lower state, politically, economically, even religiously, because we broke the laws of God found in the Bible given to us by Moses. That we come out of this lower state that we fall into by turning back to his commandments we broke by following Jesus Christ as our example, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. So we come together tonight for this joyous occasion to remember one of our great forefathers during the time of the Maccabean revolt against the Greek occupation, Simon Thasai. He was one of the sons of Mattathias, who was famous, second only to his brother Judas Maccabeus as far as fame, might, and righteousness and deliverance concerning his exploits against the Greeks and all their wicked ways and ways they tried to usurp us and take us over. So they stood up for righteousness and stood up to fight for the sanctuary of Yahweh. And through fighting for the sanctuary of the Most High and keeping it clean, he in turn fought for the people in the same token. Because we know that the people are really what make the temple. As the Most High even told us in times of the Old Testament, that what? That his tabernacle dwelleth amongst us, right? But now we're going to remember this day and go into a little bit of history in Maccabees that pertains to Simon, while we remember this day in particular, the second month and the 23rd day of the month, which is the time we're in right now. So my name's Nabia Zerubbabel. I'll be doing the service. So for your records, just write down that today, according to the Gregorian calendar, is May 7th, 2018. Once again, May 7th, 2018. And then also you can write down that, as I just stated, it's the second month and the 23rd day. So the history, which we'll go over, that pertains to why we remember this day, is generally found in First Maccabees, the 13th chapter. You can read 12 and 13 to get the full story, but it's dealing with us against the Greeks, namely the Seleucid dynasty, one of their four main dynasties, who was headed off by Antiochus IV. But he had different generals that he sent against us at different times. And you see that Judas Maccabeus and Simon Thasai, who we're going to read about tonight, they were the main sons of Mattathias that led the revolt against the Greek occupation. This is First Maccabees 13:1. It reads, "Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroy it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together, and gave them exhortation, saying, Ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws and the sanctuary, the battles also, and the troubles which we have seen." So he's looking to their recent past and how they've had so many victories, even under his brother Judas's command, right? And yet he had a third brother amongst the sons of Mattathias, Jonathan, who was notable as well. Verse 4, "By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone." So at this time, Judas and his brother Jonathan had already been taken out, so he's the one that remains. It says, "Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare mine own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren." So he steps up to the cause, right? He says, "I'm going to fight just as they did, right? Whether I live or die. Keep the thing going, right? Keep the movement going." Showing forth his courage. Verse 6, "Doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary and our wives and our children, and all the heathen, rather for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice." Now, as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived, right? So they're feeding off of Simon and his conviction, right? In the Most High to keep the fight going, right? Whether they live or die. And you see that he hasn't taken a fearful approach to say, well, let me not fight because my brothers have died already. He knows that what they're fighting for is a righteous cause, and his brethren are going to have a better resurrection anyway, because they stood up against the wiles of the wicked. That's why he said, "I'm no better than my brethren." So the people's spirit revived after he gave these motivating words. Verse 8, "And they answered with a loud voice, saying, Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan, thy brother." Right? So now he's going to take that leadership of that command. Remember what we read about Simon, his blessing, read about him being wise in counsel. When Mattathias was giving his final words before he passed on, their father, he had mentioned that about Simon, right? And you can read that in First Maccabees earlier on. So as we see, it began with their father Mattathias. Then he had his sons carry on the battle, and Simon being one of them. So First Maccabees chapter 3 in verse 65. You can write down. You can link this with 13 and 8 if you want. So First Maccabees chapter 3 and 65. It reads, "And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you." Right? So that's what Mattathias, their father, said when he was very old, getting close to giving up the ghost. So back to First Maccabees 13. Let's read on. Verse 9. It reads, "Fight thou our battles, whatsoever thou commandest us, that will we do." Right? So they're acknowledging him as the new leader. Verse 10. "So then he gathered together all the men of war and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem, and he fortified it round about." Right? So we know in warfare you have to take care of offensive and defensive measures. Right? You have to be formidable in both. Right? To have the success, to have the victory. You never know what might happen. So now they're defending themselves by building up those walls of Jerusalem that had fallen before and fortifying it. Verse 11. "Also he sent Jonathan, the son of Absalom, and with him a great power to Joppa, who casting out them that were therein, remained there in it." Right? So going to towards the east, rather going towards the west. Going the wrong way. Going towards the west, where Joppa was, clearing out that city, which was on the coast. It's same as Joppa. You'll see it spelled with an A sometimes, but it's referring to the same place. 12. Tryphon removed from Ptolemais with a great power to invade the land of Judea. Jonathan was with him in war, right? Because at this point, the people don't know if Jonathan's alive or not. They just know he was captured when being deceived when he went down to Ptolemais for peace, right? At least that's what the heathen claimed, that they wanted just to sit down and parlay. But they deceived him. It says that he was captured. So Tryphon removing from Ptolemais, he's coming from the south, down where Egypt was. It says in 13. Oh,
yeah, I had to switch down, but going fast.
oh, okay.
It was with the spirit of fear that the people had. 2 Timothy 1:7 also.
Okay, so link that with 13 and 2. 2 Timothy.
2 Timothy 1:7.
Okay. All right. So 2 Timothy 1:7 linked with 13 and 2 of 1 Maccabees. So now this is 1 Maccabees 13 and 13. But Simon pitched his tents at Adida over against the plain. When Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Jonathan, he meant to join battle with him. He sent messengers unto him, saying, whereas we had Jonathan our brother in hold, it is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure, concerning the business that was committed unto him. Right? So he got word from his spies that Simon was coming, right, with his force. So he's using more tactics to delay Simon and say, hey, one reason why we got, well, first off, that he's alive, we have him, and that we're holding him because he owes us money. Right? So that's his story. Verse 16. Wherefore now send 100 talents of silver and 2 of his sons for hostages, that when he is at liberty, he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go. Right? So they said, so if you want to get him back, just send him money that he owes and 2 of his sons as like collateral, right? So he doesn't try any funny business. Verse 17, hereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto him, right? Because Simon knew their track record, and just knowing, just him being in a council, right? So it was a tough choice, but he made the best choice to do 100 talents. Howbeit Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go. And the tower to them victuals, right? So you had a number of them that were in this tower that we had surrounded in our battles, because we lost the city, gained the city back, lost this city, lost that city, lost and gained even Jerusalem back, the main city, and there was a tower close by that these heathens still occupied, but we had surrounded. So they're asking Tryphon for help. They're saying, please send us some food, right? And try to come by the wilderness that you can make it here so that you won't be destroyed. Hey, Shalom.
Navion, you keep going in and out.
Okay, look clear on mine. Maybe do a refresh. Maybe that might help some.
Okay.
Let me know if it does. Yeah, because I haven't had any hiccups on my end. But I'll keep a lookout though.
Yeah, I'm on the phone, Navion, so that's why I'm probably having a problem.
Oh, as far as the data?
Yeah, that's why. Okay.
Oh, well.
All right, we're back on Navion.
Okay, just keep me posted if anything else weird happens. The water.
You know, okay, so.
Shalom. It says in verse 22, wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen to come that night. But there fell a very great snow, by reason whereof he came not. Good verse right here, come be quiet, right? Could use this for the brother on the Sabbath, when we went out to camp last Sabbath. He was talking about, you don't get snow around there. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Sure about that? So he departed and came into the country of Gilead, or Gilead, which you'll see it spelled Gilead too, is referring to that same place in Israel. Then it says, when he came near to Baskamah, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. Afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. So much for honoring his word. I guess he figured to himself, I can't use him as a bargaining chip anymore, and slew Jonathan, Simon and Judas' brother, anyway. So we always read in Ecclesiasticus, right? Like your favorite verse back there. Never trust thine enemy, right? Especially when it comes to Esau, right? We know his tongue has devised, has been sharp as a razor, devising mischief, even since going back to these olden times. Or as they say in the world, yeah, back in biblical days, things were done like this. It's like people are people. Righteousness is righteousness, sin is sin. Just like then, so it is now. Heathen did what they did back then, they're doing the same thing now. Us, same thing now. Wicked mostly, but they always had a remnant of us that seek after the Lord. Same as it was back then, same as it is now. So verse 24, afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. Then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan, his brother, and buried them in Modin, the city of his fathers. And we just read this about Modin. We did the Sabbath service in Maccabees, and we showed the picture in his Zonovan where you see the remains of the grave that's still there in Israel, in Modin, where you see Mattathias and his sons are buried. So that was the particular city that they were buried in. It says in 26, and all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days. 27, Simon also built a monument upon a sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the sight, with hewn stone behind and before. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren. Right? So he set up their graves or their sepulchres and built them up and arranged them by each other. It says in 29, and in these he made cunning devices, about the which he set great pillars, and upon the pillars he made all their armor for perpetual memory, and by the armor ships carved, that they might be seen of all that sailed on the sea. This is the sepulchre which he made at Modin, and it standeth yet unto this day. Right? So something you can even see from the seacoast. This particular monument they set up to signify their city and the burial of his brother and family at large. 31. Now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. Right? So the young Antiochus, once again, dealing with Antiochus V, Eupator, right? Which we read another going into more detail, we see that it was an effort not only maneuvered through Tryphon this other man of the Seleucid dynasty, but also Demetrius, right? Who Demetrius was the one who gave the order. When you read about it in Second Maccabees, it goes more into that detail about Demetrius being the next one take over the Seleucid dynasty after Antiochus IV and his son the fifth and his protector Lysias were disposed of. He'd had his men go in there and slay them. But here, just letting you know, out of those men, Tryphon was the one that carried forth the act to take out the son. It says in verse 32, and he reigned in his stead and crowned himself king of Asia and brought great calamity upon the land. Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea and fenced them about with high towers and great walls and gates and bars and laid up victuals therein. So still fortifying, right, themselves, still strengthening the city against against attack. So, you have to be offensive and defensive, right, at the same time, because you never know when you're going out to launch an offensive, your enemies may take the attack when you take lead to go on the offensive. So you have to make sure that you protect yourself. It says 34, moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius to the end that he should give the land an immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil. So here's that Demetrius again, the one in authority there. Unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner. 36, King Demetrius unto Simon, the high priest and friend of kings, and also unto the elders of the nation of the Jews, sendeth greeting. The golden crown and the scarlet robe which ye sent unto us have we received, and we are ready to make a steadfast peace with you. Yeah, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted. Right. So an immunity is like, you have a certain protection from certain things. Like even today, you'll see, if diplomats go overseas and there's some kind of conflict, they'll say, hey, according to your leaders, I have diplomatic immunity as a person coming from a neighboring country or a country that, you're doing some kind of exchange or some kind of agreement or negotiation with. They had similar instruments back then. 38, and whatsoever covenants we have made with you shall stand, and the strongholds which ye have builded shall be your own. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also, which ye owe us. And if there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid. Right? So some pretty nice perks here with this deal. Right? Not only are they being released of any alleged debts, it says that even the tax for the crown that they would demand of other nations that were under them, they said for Jerusalem, don't worry about it. Verse 40, and look who are meet or right among you to be in our court. Let them be enrolled, and let there be peace betwixt or between us. 41, thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 170th year. It says in verse 42, that's going into the reign of the Greek Empire. 42, then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. In those days Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city, and battered a certain tower and took it. And they that were in the engine leaped into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city, insomuch as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children, and cried with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. And they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy. Right? So they knew that it was just for them to be overthrown this way. But they said, let's see if we can talk this out, because clearly they're going to destroy us. Let's see if we can sue for peace. And hopefully he'll be merciful unto us. 47, so Simon was appeased toward them, and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city, and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were. And so entered into it with songs and thanksgiving. Right? So he granted them leave, but he said, okay, I won't kill you, but get out of here. We're gonna run this place our way now. Right? So a warrior, yet not a tyrant, right? Or I should say a warrior, or rather not a warmonger. As a warmonger, you know, he slays those that surrender, right? As opposed to, okay, the folks are surrendering. Instead of taking life, maybe we can gain life or gain people to our advantage, right? For our use. So all situations don't necessarily call for utter destruction. Some situations do, but many don't. So in verse 48, yeah, he put all uncleanness out of it and placed such men there as would keep the law. He made it stronger than it was before and built therein a dwelling place for himself. Right? So took out the wicked, put in righteous in there, even built a place for himself there. It says, reading on, they also the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for the want or the lack of victuals or food, and a great number of them perished through famine. Right? So while we have this peace agreement with the Greeks, what we pretty much have going on here is, Simon clean house for those that remain in the land, still trying to fight against us. Right? If they didn't accept what King Demetrius had set forth. So since these folks, they were caught up in this tower around Jerusalem, and they couldn't buy or sell or get food coming in or out. So you know what happens once provisions run out, you're out of food. Now you starve. So that's a horrible thing to be a part of, a siege, if you're in that city, right? Except a certain amount of time, there's no more food. That's where people turn desperate. Kill each other, steal from each other. God forbid, turn to cannibalism, right? In the face of trying to survive, as you hear about over history, anytime you hear about people being besieged, or they just starve, like we're reading here. And a great number of them perished through famine. Verse 50. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them, and when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollutions. Right? So he even granted some of them that were still alive life and allowed them to leave. So he cleansed up this tower too. So it's only proper for Simon, being that high priest, right, of the sons of Aaron, to make sure that righteousness is established in the land. Right? As we were reading the last Sabbath service about the requirements of the priests, we see that the cleanliness, the Most High, one of the highest forms of cleanliness for the priests. So we see him exemplifying that in the land for the people, making sure that that's upheld. From inside and out. It says in verse 51, and entered into it the 23rd day of the second month, which is right now. This is what happened back then on the 170th year of the Greeks. In the 171st year, so like a year later from that, with thanksgiving and branches of palm trees and with harps and cymbals and with viols, and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. Right? So now we have the beginning of a time of peace, right? Even if it may be short-lived, a time of peace nonetheless, which we actually do read about during the times of the Maccabees, even though, like I said, it was short-lived, but at least we had it. You read in the next chapter 14, you even see that famous expression where it talks about every man sitting under his vine and under his fig tree. Right? Anytime you see that in the scriptures, you're talking about a time where you actually have peace, where rulership on down, from the king, the high priest, the captain of the host, you actually have righteousness established, and we have peace from our enemies round about. So you only read about that on a few times, in the history of Israel, right? This is one of those times. But the verse I'm talking about is 1 Maccabees 14. 1 Maccabees chapter 14. verse 11 and 12. The whole chapter is good, but I just want to read those particular verses. First Maccabees 14, 11 and 12. It says, he, referring to Simon, made peace in the land, and Israel rejoiced with great joy. 12. For every man sat under his vine and his fig tree, and there was none to fray them. Like I said, when you go back to the time of Solomon, you see that same expression there as well. Right? To carry forth a righteous government in the beginning, after his father David had laid that righteous foundation down. Yeah, you just write down 1 Kings 4 and 25 to link with this verse. 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 25. It reads, 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 25, Judah and Israel dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. Okay? We had peace all his days during that time. And it says from Dan even to Beersheba, those are just cities that you found all the way in the north, Dan, and Beersheba you found all the way in the south. That's 1 Kings 4:25 to link with 1 Maccabees 14, 11 and 12. You can link that with 13 and 51. So 14, 11 and 12, and then 1 Kings 4 and 25 about peace. Vine and fig. Vine tree and fig tree. Well, I should say vine and fig tree. Because vines come from vineyards, right? Not vine trees. So back in 1 Maccabees 13, verse 52. They ordained also that day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was. And there he dwelt himself with his company. So even though they have peace, at the same time, he makes sure to build their defenses just in case, they may come an interruption of this peace from outside. God forbid from inside, but definitely from outside, as far as the heathen decide to act up again. Or there may be a cause due to maybe some uncleanness or wickedness going on within Israel. 53. And when Simon saw that John, his son, was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the hosts, and he dwelt in Gazra. Right? So the same John here, you see him in history. John Hyrcanus. It's Hyrcanus. When you see John Hyrcanus, you look up the Hasmonean dynasty, you can get the history behind him and certain exploits that he did. Some of it recorded here in scriptures, but then other exploits in other history books. He was the son of Simon, John Hyrcanus. But we'll stop here. But we're going through this history again as we read the Sabbath services in 2 Maccabees. But it's good to recap this particular time, if we can remember Simon, right, finishing what his brothers started and establishing that peace, right? Only fitting for him being a man of counsel. Even though he could handle himself in battle, he was known for his counsel, as his father said, as you read earlier, right, before he died. So let's definitely remember the day of Simon, even though it's not a Sabbath, but it's still a day to remember, similar to how we remember the day of Judas or the Feast of Purim, right? We can buy and sell on those days at the same time. There's supposed to be joyous days where we're taken to account or taken to remembrance the great deliverance the Heavenly Father wrought for our people through certain figures that had faith in him. At this time, the high priest Simon, son of Mattathias, also called Thassi. So we say Ashar Yawam Shemaiwan, or Happy Day of Simon to everyone. And definitely, read over the history again. Read the next chapter in your own time to see what happens next, and just meditate on this time of year and what He did for us, and ultimately what the Most High did for us. Because without Him, we know we wouldn't have these great examples in times past to look up to. All right, so that's it. Does anyone have any questions or comments before we do the closing prayers? Okay. So Shari Wam Shemaiwan, like I said, nice short service, but nonetheless, one that's good to remember and good to aspire to. Even as things get tougher and tougher, we still can establish, through the Spirit, a certain semblance of peace before that ultimate peace that comes with Christ's second coming. We can still achieve it now. All right, so we'll do the closing prayers. So Shar Shabbat, we'll talk to everybody during the classes and the Sabbath coming up. Remember too, a week from today, Monday sundown, we're going to have the third new moon. So I'll send a text out for everybody, just to be reminded of that. Definitely check your email too, because you should already have the new moon calendar schedule already in your inbox. So yeah, keep that in mind too for a week from now, the third new moon that's coming in. If you look in the sky right now, if it's not cloudy, you'll see that we have the last half, meaning the left half of the moon is still lit. So anytime you see that last half, you know that 3 weeks have gone by, or that we're pretty much 3/4 of the way through the month. In another week's time, that new moon will come in. All right, so that's it. Shalom. Someone get the blinds, Baba Gusha. Barakati Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Asheranth and the now party Akapan Tuara Aman. La Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Av Yasharal. English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, with Israel. Amadwa, Panywa, Yerusham, stand and face truthfully. Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai, Babakushai, Shemai, Lanawe, Aitha, Yam, Aitha, Shalak, Mike Allah, Wa Allahayim, Tazwadakim, Lashma Ayo, Barak, Rapha, Magan, Wa Chazayak, Banya, Yash Allah, Wa Shalak, Lanawa, Rabiam, Kakamad, Rabiam, Da'at, Rabiam, Bayanad, Rabiam, Sabalanwa, Rabiam, Mama One, Rabiam, Aqua, Rabiam, Ahabiam, Rabiam, Haganad, Rachanaya, Wasalak, Katayanawa, La Akiam, Wa Akiwa, Wayash Allah, Tam Yad, Wawalam, Basham, Yahweh, the Wada, Aman. English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please listen to us now, right now. Send Michael and the righteous powers to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the children of Israel. And send to us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, much love, much spiritual protection, and forgive all our sins. For the brothers, sisters in Israel, always and forever, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you. So be it. Four corners prayer. Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Shai, Barak Nawab, Wayash Allah, Wabat Yasapayim, Shema, Yashirallah, Yahweh, Allah, Noah, Yahweh, English translation. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us in Israel in the house of books. Then we said, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. To the blessing for the food. Yahweh, Gadawa, Basham, Adawanya, Yahweh Shai, Babakosha, Barak, Maka, Yanawa, Shatayawa, Yanawa, Yayan, Yanawa, Lacham, Yanawa, Shakara, Yanawa, Zakhar, Shahayawam, Shamaywan, Basham, Yehoshua, the Wada, Aman. All right, so with that, we'll say Shahayawam, Shamaywan once again, or Happy Day of Simon. Everyone have a blessed day. Remember, it's not a Sabbath, but still definitely a day we want to remember and keep in our minds, you know, to the rest of this day, even to sundown Tuesday. And we'll talk to everybody in the Tuesday and Friday class and the Sabbath service coming up. Shalom, everyone have a blessed night. Laila Torah.